Hey, what's up, everybody? HTG Brian here, back live with the September game break because it is the final day of September. That's right, we are done with it. In fact, I am ready to move on. This is actually one of my least favorite months, and let me tell you why. Because basketball doesn't start till next month. And as some of you guys know, I don't watch a lot of the sports ball, but I do enjoy me some basketball. And this season starts late October. Preseason will begin in a couple of days/weeks. Lots of things have changed. I know a lot of people have been checking in, doing wellness checks on me. I even had family members send me text messages asking me how I felt after the Damian Lillard trade, which I don't want to get into sports talk because I know not everybody likes it, but I just have to acknowledge the fact that I am doing okay. And in Scoot we trust. You probably can't see it, but maybe you can. What's this? I got my Scoot shirt on. You probably can't see it, but anyways. Yeah, so a whole month has gone by, and it's been pretty uneventful, if I'm being totally honest. For 2.5 years, I've been lobbying to my family that we need to get an exercise bike. But although we have a giant house and lots of rooms, there's stuff in all the rooms. So we're pretty full with the current situation. So we had to actually have a garage sale and get rid of a bunch of junk. And then we actually had to move a bunch more stuff and consolidate and throw some more stuff away, make a couple of trips to Goodwill. And before you know it, we actually have an entire workout area in our garage. And so we finally decided, okay, well, we're going to get a bike. And then we started talking about it, and we're not sure how that's all going to work out. So this has been sort of a plummeting month for us analytically, too. I do want to go ahead and say welcome back. And I know I keep saying I'm going to change that graphic, but it's been like 5 years in running, and it still exists. YouTubes. There you go. We actually hit a pretty awesome monument this month, which is going to sort of overshadow the rest of what's going on here. As you can see, about 2 months ago, month and a half ago, we were looking at 2,000 subscribers in the last 28 days, and now we're looking at only 700. So clearly the algorithm is not suggesting us, and maybe it's just the back to school time of the month or whatever, but the drop off is crazy. So this is the other reason too that September is one of my least favorite months, just because there's so much going on. You know, wife is a teacher, she goes back to school. Reese is a student, he's actually got his first week of college under his belt, which is pretty awesome too. But ultimately, you know, this is a rough month analytically for us every year, and it leads to October, which is usually fairly rough too, which has started this thing that I call the October test a long time ago. Each October, we sort of try new things out. This month, I'm going to try something different. It's not going to seem very different to you guys, but it's going to be very different to me. And you guys will get more on that in a few minutes, but we're going to try something a little bit different. I'm also going to involve the wife in some streams. About this time last year, I found a really good deal on a game that I really wanted to play with the wife. It is a scary game. There's going to be probably some profanity from my wife and a lot of jump scares. She doesn't like scary stuff very much, so she's being a champ just even considering doing this with me. And I don't know how many streams we'll get out of it, 1 or 2, but the goal is to actually set up a camera so that it'll be facing this way. So this camera won't be here. Well, maybe it will be, but we'll have another camera sitting in front of our giant TV over here that'll be looking at the wife and I. So you get to see both of us sitting in the chairs and play. Now, unfortunately, last year, wifey's job kicked in, and we didn't get to do it. So I'm hoping that this year won't be the same. Hopefully we'll get some time. Now I got a couple of other games too that I want to check out, but again, more on that in a hot second. So views, we were at like 800,000 last month. Again, I need to do the side by side so you guys can see how good or how bad. It's a pretty big jump. We lost about 200,000 views this month, which I know, again, some people are like, well, I can't even, I know it's a big number, but I mean, you can see the change, right? That's unsettling. And I know that YouTube's been reporting some analytic errors and things like that too. So that might all factor into us, but I don't think it does. Watch time is down too. We were at like 60,000. Now we're at like 34. So that's like half. And I'm sure you can imagine it affects the revenue as well. I don't always like talking about it, but at the same time, it has to be acknowledged. But all in all, we're still here. Everything's good. On a side note, I think I mentioned this the other day on stream. I used to do web and graphic design before I got into Happy Thumbs. I was doing web and graphic design, which actually led to a position at a tournament community called Urgent Fury. Urgent Fury sort of introduced me to some bigger people and some bigger ideas, which then led to Happy Thumbs. So, I've been doing web and graphic stuff for a long time. And, I don't really have many clients. I don't really advertise. My portfolio got hacked like 3 years ago, and I haven't even like restored it. Like, I just don't really focus on that. If you know me and you know what I'm capable of, usually people have no problem hiring me or whatever. But in this case, this was a friend who, without getting into it, I actually created a logo for him. He didn't ask me for it, but I did it. And he was like, "Oh, that's cool, but I'm going to have somebody else do it." They used the stupid logo that I've made. Breathe. But anyway, it was actually slightly different. But ultimately, I've got another opportunity to work for them now. So that's going to be happening. I actually meet with them next Thursday. Thursday next week is a really busy day for me. It's usually my day off from streaming, and I'm going to be doing all sorts of other stuff. So I see a bunch of people sliding in. What up, everybody? I see you out there. All of the praise and hellos and chatting happens before on the game breaks. Just as a reminder, I'm not ignoring you guys, so don't feel left out. Most of you I said hi to. Some of you are sliding in. Much love to you all. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Saturday, or I guess it could be maybe a different day, Sunday for you. All right, YouTube, you're bumming me out. Get out of here. All right, next up, I want to run through real quick, just real quick. I want to talk about living in Oregon. I've lived here my whole life. Somebody the other day sort of misunderstood something I said, and it made me start thinking about it. Like, there's this whole huge planet. Things happen differently in different places. And what I'm specifically talking about is climate stuff, right? So some places are really cold all the time. Some places are really hot all the time. And some places never see rain, while other places see tons of rain. And Oregon sees a lot of change. And that's one of the things I actually really love about living here, is that it can suck sometimes because it can be rainy half the year. But it can also be amazing because of how awesome and sunny it is, right? So like we get sort of a little bit of everything. We're also only about an hour away from the beach, which is a huge bonus because some people live in the middle of the States and have grown as old as I am and have never even been to a beach. So, I feel really lucky to live here, but I want to point out that the background is actually representative of our fall. Everything starts changing colors, and all the reds turn to like oranges and yellows, and all the trees start to drop their leaves, and it's kind of a mess on the road sometimes, especially if you drive by one of those nice guys who's doing landscaping, who thinks it's okay to use a blower to blow all the crap that he just managed on this property or client's property to then blow it onto the cars driving by. Beyond that, though, it's pretty amazing. I just really wanted to kind of appreciate Oregon, its stuff, and back to the comment too. I haven't been to a lot of places, so I haven't experienced like the super hard. Like, I know that Tyler P lives in Winnipeg. They get like feet of snow every year, and like their cars have to have special plug-in devices that like keep a constant temperature on the radiator so that the cars don't freeze, even with antifreeze. Like, so, and then there's other places like, Teflon lives down where there's storks that eat hot dogs. Like, what? We don't have no storks around here. So, we're planning a trip, and I don't know how it's going to go, but I know I've been talking about this a little bit. We're going to try to set the date for the summer of 2025. So not this next summer, but the summer after. Or this, yeah, I got it right. And we're going to try to do the Europe stuff. I'm going to try to hit up some of those places that I've never been to and check out some other stuff. Like Germany has a few stops I want to check out. Hopefully I'll get to see Gray over in Belgium. I also have some family in the Netherlands. So lots of stuff going on there. I don't know how it'll all work out, but, Belgium and Germany are for sure two things that are on my bucket list. So, Yeah, but yeah, so that's the fall stuff. It's fall. It's really wet right now, which is ultimately why we spent so much time in the house cleaning and doing all that stuff because it's just not been great. We haven't even been kayaking. In fact, my wife actually has been hopeful and kept the kayaks in the back of her car until about a week ago, and was finally like, all right, let's put them on the storage for the winter. Because like we love going out there, which has actually led to the possibility of us, instead of buying a bike, getting a rower. I guess Peloton has a rower now too. So we got to do some research and figure it out. It's so stupid expensive, but it is what it is. All that being said, we get a little taste of everything. And obviously, there's some beautiful stuff that happens. This is all a repeat from last month, so nothing new. I'm just kind of giving you the seasons change, okay? So this is our wall of sunflowers. If you've never seen this before, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. This is a project my wife, well, my family and I do, but it was started by my wife a couple, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6. It's been a while now. But ultimately, each year they get more tall and more thick. Like we had, I think, the most this year than we've ever had. We also have these little fuzzy guys too. We got all sorts of them, and we found our giant ones a little bit late, so we'll be planting the giant ones. So I mean, let's go back. Look how tall I'm about 6 feet tall, and I mean that's I know it's a perspective thing at the same time, but like, look how tall that is. I mean that's at least 13, 14 feet tall. Like I'm not even kidding. But we have ones that actually go to like 25 feet tall. So next year is gonna be crazy. But I just wanted to show you these in their full, you know, beautiful bloom because things have changed. Not quite the same. Yeah. As you can see, a lot of these are on the ground. And if you look too, it's blue sky. I did not take these today. I took these 4 or 5 days ago. And it had rained the day before, so a lot of them are sort of on the ground. But I mean, like you can see look how yellow and like bleh. Like sunflowers are always golden yellow, but like now they're like bleh, yellow. They're like not the same, right? Still got a couple ones that are amazing though. This one is one that's not part of the bunch. This is actually the side of the house. In fact, my room / office is just up to the right of the camera view right now. It's on that side wall, so I can like look out my window and see that bad boy. Before it started to fall over, which unfortunately I can't see the top, but before it started to fall over, my wife counted, that's right, my wife, she counted 42 different blooms on one stock. That's right, 42. And, you know, I'm not trying to act like she's a bad counter or anything, but when you start getting, like, going around a circle and you're counting up on a giant plant, like, you could easily overlook a couple, right? So, at least 42 blooms. Now, I tried to get a little bit different angle on this guy, too, but as you can see, we had to snip the top because it was invading our neighbor's privacy. Which I'm sure they didn't mind, but they actually have a really tall one about 8 feet to the left of this photo too. It was one of the big head ones. And it bloomed a little bit earlier. I'm pretty sure it's gone now. I'd have to go look out there and see, but yeah, so like I said, Oregon is awesome for that seasons change and getting a taste of everything. You get some really hot days. I mean, we had some 110, 100 and hot days. We've also had, you know, negative days too, you know. So in my lifetime here, we've seen a lot. And it's likely gonna just get a little bit worser or more diverser, I guess. We'll see a lot more hotter days and a lot more like super burtastic cold days too. All right, so the next topic is sort of a work in progress still. It's been a work in progress for months, but it's coming to a close. And Tyler, if you're out there, I'm sorry, I actually just realized this morning that I never finished releasing the work in progress on the website. So that's my bad too. I got to figure out some time to get that up and going. But what I'm talking about is the infamous Lego 2K Drive, which a lot of you have missed out on or passed up on. And, you know, some of you have taken my advice and have waited for the Bobby price to strike, or perhaps maybe it to become free on a particular whatever. I'm just realizing too, there's probably some audio happening right now that I'm not wanting. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. This is a video that actually has not been released yet. I just cut the audio for it this morning, and it was kind of a mess. I actually missed an edit. Had to fix that and adjusted all the quick links. And thank God I hadn't already written all the quick links down, because that would have offset everything, and that would have been terrible to have to redo that twice. But essentially, we're coming to a close. I actually have one more collectible video, and then we're done with collectibles. I still have a final stream that I plan on doing. I still have at least one other trophy achievement video that I plan on doing. And of course, the big question is going to be, am I going to figure out a workaround for the trophies that are not moving for me right now? Now, I did accidentally ring off when I was doing, actually it wasn't this video, it was the last video. I got some points as I was scouting. And because, you know, doing jumps and stuff, you like right here, I just got a collectible. But when you hit the ground, watch, I get money. Maybe I'm probably not. Never mind. I'm watching my screen. I'm off on the timing there. So that's a different. But anyways, you get money and you unlock cars, or you get drive points too for the season pass. And I unlocked another driver. So I got so not all of my trophies have locked. It's just the mileage ones. And so I'm going to basically do a final stream. Before I do it, though, I'm going to try. I got two different things I could try. And if I see any progress at all, and it's possible I might not see any progress until I get the first trophy, right? I might end up ringing off the 3K trophy all on my own, which is totally fine. Not a big deal. But then I'll grind it at the end. So that's my plan. I'm going to try to do a couple of different things to see if I can get it to work. If it does work, I'm going to do a big platinum finish soiree stream. And I'll be super happy, because I've really not had that happen. Historically, I help people all the time, or break the bad news to people all the time about, well, you might have used a cheat code, and oh no, you did. Well, there's a good chance that's broken. And a lot of times people just jump right in and replay the games. And that's not something I really wanted to do. I know a lot of people really like, even Gray right now. He just finished Starfield, and he's already back through playing the same storyline again, probably making some different choices, probably doing some different things, right? It's a different experience, but it's ultimately the same experience, right? So there's so many games out there, and as somebody that makes content, I want to keep that stuff changing. I don't want to necessarily. So when I beat a game that I've been dragging out for almost a year now, I don't want to have to replay the game when I'm done, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping I can find that solution to that. And if not, like I said, I've got a plan B too. It's basically the same thing, but one is on the current save and one is on a second save. So hopefully that'll work out. Let's see here. Teflon. I haven't seen Teflon. I see somebody mention that. I haven't seen a Teflon super chat either. However, he is at the top of the list right now, which is interesting too, because I did drop a donation, or I donated a membership earlier, and big shout out to William Stainer, who actually was the recipient of that. In fact, let's see if we can, I swear, like, Teflon has an alarm on his phone that's like, whenever he gets bumped off the most recent, he gets a little notification. He's like, oh, not today, sir. Not today. So let's see. Booyaka Shao. There is another gifted membership. Let's see who is the lucky recipient. Nice. It was Steve the Hare Harrington, which is an awesome reference to Stranger Things. Kiwi Boy does ask, what Lego game would you recommend to buy? All right, I'll answer that question, but I have to know something. Something has actually been, it's not bothering me, but I just need confirmation, or I just need to move on from it. One of the two. Kiwi, what are you in the Discord? What's your Discord name? I think I know it. I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious, even though it might be a little different. I think it's pretty obvious. But I had a little chat the other day with somebody else, and like, it was sort of believed that was not it. So I'm just trying to make sure. And that's right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. By the way, side note, just me and you talking, nobody else listening. We good, dude. We good. All right. You know what I'm talking about. We good. No. See, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. We're good. Just for the record, moving forward, you gotta be really over the top, and you got to have done something really shady to upset me. Most of the time, I laugh. Every once in a while, I'll be like, stupid, whatever. But like for the most part, I'm not like I mean, listen, I've been friends with Nam for like 20 something years. You know, you build up a barrier of protection when you have friends like Nam. And I mean that in the most sincerest way. You know, because a long time ago, if you go back, like right when Nam and I met 20, 22 years ago, when I was running an online community, which, I mean, communities were sort of in their infancy at that point. I mean, they had been around. IRC chats and like computer nerds and hackers had been doing some of this stuff for years at this point. But the casual person, such as me, you know, wasn't really used to that. And managing all these personalities online where you're free to say and do whatever you want without any repercussions, and trying to create rules for these grown people that didn't want to follow your rule, you know. So, and I took, I didn't always take comments and things. I would get really upset, like, and I'm sure my wife would reveal that there was a couple of years where I spent way more time on the phone and on the computer doing stuff that didn't matter, but I was so convinced that it mattered, you know, and just the little things and trying to get things right and trying to please everybody when you can't please everybody. You know, there's all these things you learn over time. And so, like I said, it wasn't a shot at Nam. It's sort of laughable, right? Like, I mean, Nam keeps me on my toes. So, but I'm happy to have him around, and hopefully we'll get to see him tomorrow. Sounds like there might be a small get together of a handful of us because Raised is going to be coming through town, and Justin is going to meet up. I reached out to Mike. Mike said he works, but he should be able to get out. And then he made some mention of like, oh, I've been looking for an excuse to get tacos. He has this taco place that he loves to go to. Problem is, I can't eat there because all of their meats and marinades and everything have onion in it. We've tried this before and it doesn't work. And I don't think he was worried about it. I think he just wanted to go have tacos. But I thought as a like maybe like a trade-off, we could meet at the quesadilla bar, which doesn't have tacos of his liking, but they're pretty delicious. So that's what I was thinking. We'll figure all that out here later tonight. And then I'll let both Nam and Mike know, and then I'll shoot a text to Justin and let him know too. That's kind of a bummer, Gray. Maybe you should start a little food truck. Tacos. Gray tacos. I don't know if people would buy a gray taco. They'd be like, what the crap is a gray taco? All right, moving right along. So we got the Lego 2K Drive talk out of the way. Hopefully, it'll likely be, I'll likely do the final stream on a Sunday. I guess I forgot to mention that. I'll likely do that on a Sunday, and that might kick off the return of Sunday streams. As I already mentioned, analytics are in the pooper right now, so I'm sort of not at like my sellout mode yet. Like I'm not ready to play Fortnite and Minecraft just yet, but we're getting to that line of like disparity, and I know it's a stinky cologne. All right, so hey, this next portion is going to be a little bit different, and not really. It's the same as always in format, but different in the sense that I'm really wanting some feedback from you guys. And not only will I want it right now, but I am going to redirect your attention to a poll in a couple of days. And I don't know exactly how the poll will work yet, because I'm not exactly sure how many days I have to slide games into. So this is a big month. Lots of big games coming out. And I've got 4 on the docket that I want to talk about that are sort of important or on my radar. Once I get through these, I want to know your opinions, how much of them you'd like to see. I will sort of evaluate if any of these are games that are going to be things that I could help out with. So, you know, I got to thinking too, I've been watching some other YouTubers sort of have a similar issue with me, or as me, not with me, regarding YouTube analytics and stuff, right? So, channels that are much bigger than me, channels that are smaller than me. Some of them are having better success. Some of them are not having. And I've been looking at the kind of content that's been succeeding and what hasn't been. And one of the things that really has stood out to me is that this channel would have been dead years ago had it not been for my guide videos. That's point blank. And if you really look at it, I'm still doing guide videos, right? Like I've been leaking out 1 or 2 videos of older Lego games, or in this case right now, Lego 2K Drive, which is the newest Lego game. And the views are not great, but they're long-term projects, right? So like I'll upload them, and in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now, they'll all have thousands of views because you guys are awesome. You guys know I've helped you in the past. You like my humor, thank God. And you know, you'll return for more when you are ready to play it, and that's awesome. But what most of you don't return for is like I don't know this, at least I think that most of you don't go through the archives and watch old streams. I know Gray said he watched an old stream the other day, but I don't think that's typically what people go to. Now, maybe you do. Maybe you guys are watching the older streams. Analytically, usually when a stream is done, it doesn't seem like it gets much more than like 100 views, period, after it's done, right? So like I'll stream, and then like the rest of the day, a couple of views will trickle in because they'll see the notifications later or whatever. But ultimately, they don't get a lot. Now, some of the guide videos have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. And although those are sort of dying down now too, I think a lot of people have already played all the Lego games. And now people are doing like Lego game challenges because there isn't any Lego games coming out and they really want to play them. So they're like me, they're playing them on other systems that they never played them on and stuff. And so I've sort of been like thinking about leaning back into focusing on more of the guide format again, and maybe even tapering back my streams. But the problem is I don't know what to write guides for anymore. We've tried to do the big AAA, sweet games like The Last of Us Part 2. Reese and I can't stress this enough. That's like one of my most proud projects that I've ever worked on. The thumbnails were amazing and informative and maybe a bit busy, but like probably not too busy. The locations were on point, the quick links, all of it was so well put together. Like it's no different than the Lego. In fact, I put more effort into that than some of the Lego games needed, just because of how many collectibles and how much. But those don't get any views, and I've never been able to figure out how or why I can tap into those or why I can't tap into those markets. So it's like back to well, what do I do then? So I mean, I can play Lego games again, but I mean, you can only replay so many Lego games. I mean, I don't want to just be the guy that just plays the same Lego games once a year, every year, right? Like, oh, it's October. Brian's playing Lego Marvel again. He'll be done with that, and in October or November, he'll go to... I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to play the same thing over and over again. But we're also running into a hurdle of no new game. So I'm excited for some stuff that's coming out next year, like the Pop Funko game. We know that TT Games is brewing up something. We just don't know what it is. We also know that Lego has an agreement with 2K. They're working on a sports game. It's believed to be soccer. 2K, go! Football. And there's likely some other stuff happening too, race-wise. So we'll see. But till then, these are all games that I see as stream games. And I believe they're in their expected release order. But there's some jumbling around and some delays and some confusion I've had finding the accurate date. So without keeping you guys waiting anymore, this is actually one that I know that a couple of you... it would be awesome to have you around to play with. So I love me some co-op. Now this is, I haven't done a ton of research on any of these games. As you guys know, the older I get, the more fuddy-duddy I am. I don't really watch trailers. I like to be surprised. I like to try and figure out things on my own for the most part. Unless I'm writing a guide, then I want Tyler to figure it out and tell me about it. But, ultimately this is a cooperative old school Sonic with new school flair. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Sort of a party game, if you will. And that is supposed to drop, let's see what my notes say here. It looks like it drops the 17th, October 17th. Technically, it'd be live on the 16th for us just because of the times and everything. But looks like a lot of fun. And depending on what day it might fall into our streams, Reese is a huge Sonic fan and has always been really good at Sonic games. He might be able to join me on this. So he's a big PC guy, but we might be able to work something out where he is able to join us. It may be, I don't know, may even be cross-platform. I don't know. Another one that's really on my radar, and I know that some of you are going to be like, ooh. I know that it's October, so it's perfect time for brown pants situations. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. All right. No brown pants situation. We'll get to that in a second. Next up, we got the Web Slinger, Spider-Man 2. Historically, I played both of the Spider-Man games, both Spider-Man and Miles Morales, like months after release. I find that some of these games, this one is one of them, that I feel that is like most people want to experience it for themselves that are going to play it. Now, not everybody has a PS5. I don't know if this is coming out on PS4. That is something, again, I haven't researched a ton of this either. I've seen the footage of like the symbiote suit and stuff. It looks amazing. But it also looks like the same game, basically. So I really liked it. So that's the good news. It looks just like some of the stories really stand out and are great, and some of them are just like, they almost get in the way, and you just want to play the game. And this is kind of one of those games that, like, the gameplay is awesome. So hopefully you guys are excited to see this. We'll see if it makes it to the channel right away or not. That's likely going to be kind of part of the question regarding the poll whenever I figure out how that's all going to be put together. Next up, though, brown pants. Back to the brown pants. Hopefully my button is proper this time. All right, Alan Wake 2. I was a big fan of Alan Wake way back on, way back on the 360. And I know you said that, Kirsten, about couch co-op, but first of all, there's definitely the ability to screen share, right? Remote play or whatever it's called. So no matter what, at least one person would be able to join me for some multiplayer action. But even more so, if it is couch co-op, further proves the possibilities of Reese being able to join. So that would be awesome. Let's see here. I couldn't finish it back in the day. Yeah, so Alan Wake was tough. It was tough. I don't believe I got all the achievements for it. I finished the storyline. Grace making jokes at me, but I finished the storyline. I don't remember getting. I think there were some achievements that I went back and got, maybe even on stream. But we had a blast with the remastered, and I'm really excited for 2. What I've seen so far looks great. Twitter had a clip around this floating around this morning where when you die, there's like this sort of jump scare / sequencing, if you will, in animation. It's pretty terrifying the first time you see it. And I can imagine with headphones on and being loud, it'd be kind of scary. Now, also seeing that over and over and over again is going to be annoying. So hopefully there's no difficulty trophy. Hopefully there's no difficulty trophy so we can play it on easy and we'll never die. We'll still run and scream like the wussies we are. But yeah, Code Brown. Josh has got it. See, I only had played it. Yeah. So, and that's one of those games where it's scary. I don't get scared very often, but the ambience, the suspense, and the audio will make the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and I get the chills. And then the chasing. I don't like my wife hates being chased, and like most of the time I'm good at being chased, but like anytime I'm in like Resident Evil or anything, like I'm not a fan of being chased. Or even what was the shark game? Submerged. Remember that stupid shark that was chasing me in Submerged? I hated that, but I also loved it at the same time. Like I really do get a kick out of those moments. And yes. And then last but not least, this one's gonna hit a little different. And I only say that because historically, this game falls into a category that normally doesn't ever see any attention. And there's a reason for it. Before I hit the button, does anybody have a guess what the next game might be? I mean, you already know it comes out next month. You already know that I've talked about the games that have released early or mid in the month. And, oh yeah, Phasma was coming to console, but they botched the update, and so they pushed it back. Because Reese was like all over me about it. It was like, you're going to play with me and my friends. He plays the crap out of that game. Hours on end, chasing the same stupid ghost. I don't understand. Like, you've been there, done that. You got a t-shirt that says, I caught every single stupid ghost in this game 75 times. I have $10 million. I can buy anything and I have everything, but I still want to chase it and figure it out. I don't get it. I don't have that repetitive play in me. I know Brad and some other people are historically known for playing games over and over and over again. I just don't have that in me. No, Mirage. Although that's actually for the clues I gave, does it come out in October? Does it come out in October? I don't even know when that. I know it's coming soon, but I don't even know when that comes out. Nah, you guys are gonna be blown away. You guys are gonna be blown away. Ready? Nobody guessed it, so I'm just gonna drop it like it's hot. Ready? Last chance. Last chance to guess. Last chance to guess. Among Us 2 Electric Boogaloo. Is that a thing? Because, like, there used to be an Electric Boogaloo movie. That's Breakdancing 2 Electric Boogaloo. I actually had the soundtrack on record, and I used to listen to it. That is real. And I don't know. My dad still has a tremendous amount of his records. I don't know if he still has it or not. I would love to find out. It's not Ghostbusters. That's unfortunately. Whoa, got lots of ads. Really? Yeah, keep me informed on the ad thing too. I've got it on the automated, and it's not. I don't have it on aggressive. I don't have it on anything crazy. Nope, Ghost, not Ghost. All right, here we go. So let's talk about this for a minute. First of all, I've missed the last like 3 or 4 Marios. So like, if there's any need for me to know what's going on, I know there's not like a huge storyline or anything crazy. It's not like a Final Fantasy or something. But if you're getting ads every 15 minutes, that doesn't seem right. So you've gotten what, 2 ads? I mean, technically that's not too bad, but so back to Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Nintendo has had a weird policy about streaming their content for a long time. Back in the day, you actually had to more or less sign a contract with them, and then you didn't have to be exclusive with them, but the content on the channel you streamed to had to be exclusive. We know because we actually talked about it at one point. And basically we were in the infancy of the channel, and we had been building up all sorts of stuff. We weren't a Lego channel yet. We were just a channel that was getting views, and the algorithm was finding our stuff. To be honest with you, I found a cheat. Really, I did. I found a cheat in the algorithm, and I exploited the crap out of it for a few years. And then they found it, and they told me I had 24 hours to fix it, or we were losing our channel. And so I fixed it, but I had to actually pay a friend of mine to help me. But we fixed it. And at that point, it just didn't seem like we were big enough or good enough to start a whole new channel that was specific to, the Mario Brother games and Nintendo content, or, nor did we want to just basically quit doing everything we had been doing and just stick with it. So years have passed. It's not the same anymore. You don't need a contract. There's nothing. But I don't know how they're acting with claims. So that's the one thing. So the like all the music is gotta be copyrighted. So this is one of those things that like I would love to check out and take for a spin, but I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be a wise long-term thing, especially when we're doing like a test and we're trying to find something that's going to work for us versus something that's not going to work for us. Let's see here. Here we go again. Let's see. What was that? All the name. Whoa. YouTube Premium is handy. No ads. All right. No way. 6 ads? 6 ads or more. Okay, so you guys are just arguing back and forth. No, let's go for a minute. Okay. So yeah, I'll have to see how it works out. Now, is this something you guys would want to see? Do you guys want to see me play Super Mario Wonder? It looks cool. Like there's stuff that I don't understand. Like I'm from the old school. Like I was around when it like first came out, you know, like in fact, in the arcade version of it that we had played before the home version came out, I mean, you just ran around. It was kind of like a combination between like Joust and what Mario ended up being. You know, you had to avoid all the. It was the Super Mario. Was no Super Plumber. What was it? Was it just Super Mario Brothers? Or no, it's just Mario Brothers. It was just Mario Brothers, huh? You had to run around and bonk the turtles up on their back, and then jump up on the next level and kick the shell off. And like I said, it was kind of like Joust in the format, but like also different. Cool. So Mario is definitely something you guys would be interested in. Perfect. Great to hear. We got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 coming like right at the beginning of next month, too, beginning of November, that is. Reese bought it already, but Dummy bought it for PC, so I won't be able to share it. So I have to make a decision. Am I going to buy Call of Duty this year? I haven't bought it in like 5 years because he's been such a fiend for it. He buys it and I just share it. So it's worked out really nicely for me. On the flip side, I buy like 100 games a year between PS Plus and my purchases, and Reese was able to share all those. So it's been a nice trade-off. He buys one game and he gets like 100 a year in return. But so yeah. Cool. Let's see here. Brian D, you probably have something you pay. Possible. So let me just rewind a bit back to the ad talk. So it's all new. The system is sort of in a beta. In fact, it was released, like they announced it like a week or 3 ago, and they said it wasn't going to be effective and in motion until November. But yet here we are. It's already available on our channel. So I clicked, what is the wording on it? Let me see if I can see it from here. I clicked show ads to viewers at different times. Ads will be shown to the viewer based on when they join the stream. Turning this on can maximize your potential. So that's what I have. Yeah, there's lots of new options now. Honestly, I can let YouTube insert mid-rolls, which is recommended. I can choose the mid-rolls, which has always been the option. I can choose the mid-roll frequency. And yeah, insert mid-roll ads manually. Teflon with a $2 super chat. What up, Teflon? We were just talking about you a minute ago. Actually, a couple different times. I was talking about storks and hot dogs a little bit ago, and somebody said hey to you, but then we realized you weren't here yet. So good to see you. And what did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? Like I'm telling you, bro has an app that tells him when he gets bumped from the top. Because here he is. He's back on top. Nothing but love, Teflon. Nothing but love. All right. Speaking of love, I missed out on a really big opportunity about, well, a week ago today. Some of you have heard me cry about this a lot. Some of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you're all about to find out or hear it again, one or the other. As you guys probably remember, last month I did a bunch of drag racing. I'm real big into cars, have been specifically into Volkswagens for a long time. My car is built pretty much to the max. There are things and stuff I can do to it, but I'm already struggling with traction being a front wheel drive car. It makes very little sense to dump thousands of dollars into a car that's going to struggle to gain traction. So I've decided I wanted to buy a Golf R. And the next generation up would have been the logical decision, price-wise and everything. However, the next generation does not offer sunroofs. So that puts me at either current generation that I'm in, which is old technology and high miles. You don't really find the one I'm looking for with low miles. And technology is very limited on it. I wouldn't be able to build it up, not like these new ones. And so I've been looking at a new one. And I just want you guys to see how friggin' beautiful this thing is. So that's what I'm looking at. This will be mine soon, you guys. I've been working so hard. I've been saving for years. The house thing isn't really turning into a house thing right now. We're still saving, but this is a 20 this what's shown here is a 2023 Golf R. They are no longer available new, and the used market, believe it or not, is more expensive than a new one. So not only is there travel involved in these, because most of them are like in Miami or Ohio or Michigan or Seattle. They're all over the place, but they all have 7 to 20,000 miles on them. And I'm not kidding you. They are charging more than the dealerships would. The dealerships around here, a couple of them have added on quite a bit. The one that's here in Salem adds on $7,000 to the asking price. And the one up in right across the border in Vancouver adds $15,000 to the MSRP. So right now there is a dealership in Beaverton that gets these very rarely, and they had one last week. And my wife and I talked about going, and we ended up doing some other stuff, and we talked about maybe going Sunday. And then Saturday night, I found out that it had sold. So I'm waiting. I've contacted the dealership that doesn't have markup, so I won't have to pay extra. Like, I just think it's dumb. Like, I really want this car, but I don't want to go and drive a whole bunch of miles to go get the car and then have to worry about proving residency or sales tax or any of these weird things that happen for out-of-state purchases. I don't want to have to trailer it and pay $1,000 or more to have it trailered. So I'm just like waiting for the dealership to call me and be like, we got it. Now, to make things worse, I didn't get the car. And stupid Nom went and got his new car. And stupid Nom's been sending me text messages about how lovely and awesome and fast his new all-wheel drive car is. I'm serious. I would show you, but it gets a little profane, and I don't think anybody wants to see that. But essentially, I'm hopeful that it won't be long before I get my hands on one of these. I'm going to be sad to say goodbye to my GTI. Now, there's a possibility that Reese might buy it from me, but Reese has not. He's interested in it, but he doesn't currently have hours. He doesn't have a job. His job at the golf course has, that's not run out, but he's going to college down here, and he lives down here, and the course is an hour north, and it just doesn't make sense to stay at my dad's for multiple days in a row. Well, he can work 3-4 shifts and then come home, right? Like, he was literally going away for 3-4 days and then coming home all summer, and now that just doesn't make sense. So, ultimately, I think the car will probably just get traded in at the dealership. And it's going to be sad, you guys. I've had that car for 5.5, 6 years now. April will be 6 years. I've done a lot to it. I've done a lot of traveling in it. And I've also let it sit in the driveway and accumulate very little miles. So it's in pretty good shape. And funny enough, the market's in a place where, I bought the car 6 years ago for $12,000. And I'm going to be able to sell the car for no less than $10,000. So that's pretty awesome. And I put a buttload of money into it and made a bunch of changes to it. But none of that actually counts. Like, nobody, unless I sell it private party to like some guy that's like, oh my God, you did all this cool stuff, I want to pay you for it, which isn't going to happen. Even Reese, I told Reese, like, I'd give him the low end of the deal for sure. But, yeah, I get that too, Kirsten. 18 is a long time to have a car. For what it's worth, I still have the first. Well, it's not technically true. I inherited a car, and then for my grandparents, and then my mom owed me a bunch of money and didn't have it, and she was getting ready to get rid of her car. And so we worked a deal where I sort of inherited her car. So I don't know if you know this or not, but I was a model when I was like from like 4 to like 14. I did newspaper articles, I did commercials, I did all sorts of stuff. My mom was a model in the business. I was a cute little kid, got in the business. And then I got in that awkward stage where I wasn't fitting any of the clothes and any of that. Um, anyways, so and it was a Volkswagen, by the way. So I mean, I've had Volkswagen in my blood for years and years and years, but I'm hoping this is. I've never owned a brand new car, but the first car I actually bought with my own money was shortly after my mom gifted me that car and I wrecked it. Um, I bought a Jetta and I still have it in the driveway. It's a piece of crap. It's falling apart. It's a rust bucket with an engine and a transmission in it. And I'm probably going to sell it this summer. Wife and I talked about going a different route. Instead of getting the brand new Mark 8 Golf R, getting a 7.5, which would be a lot cheaper. Wouldn't have a sunroof, but I'd be able to like do a bunch of crap to it real soon because it'd be cheaper. Make it go real fast. And then she was like, well, wait a minute. I don't hear you talking about selling your GTI with this. And I was like, well, yeah, if it's cheaper, I could afford to buy the car on its own and keep the GTI. She's like, well, where are we going to park it? And I was like, all right, I'll get rid of my Jetta. So I have a Jetta Coupe, and it's actually, I bought it in 1995. That's when I bought it, in 1995. So the car has not driven on the road for probably 8 years. And I don't think it ever will under my management. I'm just not into mechanical stuff anymore, you guys. I have multiple transmissions. I have 2 engines. I have interior almost doubled for the inside. I have a race seat. I have so much stuff for it. So that's the thing, is that the car itself isn't necessarily worth anything, but the engine, the tranny, the wheels, and all the crap that I have that goes inside of it when you buy it is going to be it. But let's see here. I feel like I'm getting an ads every 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I chose a new option today. We're checking it out. We're seeing. I mean, if it's completely killing the experience, I probably won't use it often in the future. I don't know how safe that would be, though, Mike. I like the idea. Don't get me wrong, I do. If you use some Craggle, they'd probably stick together pretty efficiently. But you never know. All right. Quick reminder. We still have merch. It's not really back anymore. It's just there. So HTGmerch.com. We got lots of stuff for you to choose from, including hoodies. We got t-shirts. We got beanies. If you got a big head like Gray, beanies might be a little too small for you, but definitely check it out. We'd love to see you rolling around and posting your HTG merch. You know, I used to do a thing called Thumbie Around the World. I don't know if any of you guys were even around for that. That was a long time ago. We did it on our Facebook page. So if you go back like 7, 8 years ago, you'll see a bunch of photos. And what would happen is that certain people I would cross paths with, whether it be on a YouTube comment or maybe they messaged me on Twitter or Facebook or something, and something just stuck out to me, right? Maybe they bought some stickers or won one of the contests that we used to have. And however it was, they would end up with me sending them some Thumbie stickers. And it started off with a gentleman named Taz. Not Paz, but Taz, T-A-Z. And Taz actually lived in Australia. Imagine that. Tasmanian devil. Taz. Anyways, he posted a Thumbie sticker on like right in the middle of his license plate. So there's like 3 letters and then 3 numbers. And right in the middle, he put Thumbie. And it was like down under something, something. And I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. Because we were super young and like, to be on that side of the planet with something from us was a big deal. So then it started going around. We had pictures from people in Peru. We had pictures from people in Europe. We had people, the UK. Barry sent, and that's kind of how Barry and I met too. He won one of our early gifts or contests, and I sent him some stickers. And his boy was just born and was in his bed sleeping. Some of you have seen it. He's like sleeping, right? And Barry took 2 Thumby stickers and put one on each of his hands, so it looked like his kid was doing the double Thumby. And so Barry and I have been friends ever since because of that. So I mean, that was the early days where we were really hands-on and really interacting with a lot, and sending the contests out, and everybody was getting a chance at stickers, and the stickers were going out. Some of them 2, 5, 10, 12 stickers in a giveaway each week. Sometimes we did multiple giveaways. Really, the shipping got astronomically high. COVID happened, and we just sort of pulled back from that. It's been a while since we've done that. We've talked about revisiting that, but really, like, I mean, even to send something to like when I sent Josh his Lego a couple weeks ago, it was not cheap to send a fairly light box of plastic, right? So, anyways, we'll see how if that ever comes back or not. But moving forward, we got a schedule. Booyaka Shao, check it out. We got Motorfest Mondays that's going to be hanging out. So I really enjoyed the game, you guys. I think the simplicity of buying a car but being able to tune it with objects that you've unlocked as you play, I think that's genius, because you're not constantly going, oh man, I really want this car, but I can't afford the car and all the upgrades. Like, you get what you get with upgrades, which is maybe a bummer to some hardcore tuners, but like ultimately you get a lot. You know, so I look forward to returning to that on Monday and seeing how far we can get in the story. Payday 3 was an absolute blast. In fact, we had some pretty good luck, and I do believe that both Bobby and Gray are going to try to return to join Tood and myself in some heists on Tuesday, or Tuesday as he likes to call it. And then Starfield is going to hang out for at least another week or two. As you guys know, I'm on the fence with this game. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. You guys voted it in, so it got to stay. If it were up to me, I would have probably kept in Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, even though y'all voted the other way, so I went with that. So ultimately, I do feel like at some point that'll be a game that likely gets replaced with, who knows, maybe the Sonic Superstars, or perhaps Alan Wake 2, or we used to play Alan Wake on Wednesdays. If I remember, it was Wake Wednesdays, wasn't it? But we'll have to see how it all pans out. We got Spider-Man coming up too, as I mentioned, and some other options out there. I'm really looking forward to the Killer Clown game, but I don't believe that has an actual release date yet. Oh, look at that. I forgot to put the no stream on Thursday. Guess what? There's no stream, though. And then Friday, you got the glorious me playing as Lifeline. I got my little Afro puffs. No, I'm just kidding. But really, we'll be playing Apex again on Friday. We always like to throw up the old hashtag SIR. And some of you know why. If you don't know, I encourage you to join us on Fridays for some Apex Legends. It's a fun experience. For me, you know, every game is different. It's always challenging. It's heart racing at times. It's laughable. Like, I think that's, to me, it's one of the closest experiences that reminds me of SOCOM. Now, the numbers are smaller because SOCOM we could have, I mean, for the most part, SOCOM was 8 teams of 8. So you could have 8 people in one team on one side. In the later SOCOMs, they were bigger, 16. So you could have 16 people. That got a little chaotic. Like I was talking earlier about trying to manage grown dudes and some ladies too, that were very opinionated, very, you know, foul-mouthed, and you know, not wanting to follow the rules and stuff. So definitely tough. But 3 is not quite perfect. I'd love to see Apex go to 4. That would be crazy. The maps would need to be a little different, I think, but 4s would be insane. But yeah, and then, you know, there's talk of Sundays returning too. But again, we haven't really fully landed on how that's all going to work or what game will be next. Looking at my Xbox, I've got like 3 or 4 Lego games that I picked up on sale like 2 years ago that I'd love to replay, like the Marvels, the DCs. I haven't played Batman 2 in over a decade. That seems like something that I need to play. Especially since it's the most viewed video of any video, right? Like, that game has provided the most viewed video of all. So, yeah. All right. Before we go, into like total chill mode and get your questions ready, I guess is what I should be saying. I do want to recognize all the Patreon supporters. We got a bunch of people that support us at patreon.com/happythumbsgaming. These are all the $5 and up supporters. I do know that one person on this list is no longer there. So if you're watching, you're like, hey, I'm not on there, am I? You're not. You've been removed from the money side, but I'm keeping you here because it's just easy and I appreciate you, if you know what I mean. So much love to all those people who have supported. Most of us are supported since the early days. Most of them have supported since like the very, very, very beginning. And like I've said before, a couple of them probably forgot. Drex, what is up, man? What are you doing? You got a treat? You got a treat? What is that? Where'd you find that? He doesn't know what to do right now. Too much excite. Come here. Where is it? Come up. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Camera's on. It's like I can't be bothered right now, Dad. And off he goes downstairs. Oh no, you missed the dog. Oh boy. Yeah, Drex has definitely got a lot of energy. It's been raining the last couple of days. Today it's been really nice, but the last couple of days have been rainy, so he's been cooped up. Wifey's got a shin thing, so she can't walk him. And I haven't really learned how to do the 2-leash thing yet. I know that sounds weird, but she's got some new leash that's got some special harness, and I'm sure I could probably figure it out. I just haven't taken the time to do it. But all right, so last but not least, I do want to go ahead and shout out the $10 and up supporters on Patreon as well, starting with Mr. Dougie Fresh 613. Much love to you, Dougie. Appreciate you. Dougie was the first person to support us on the Patreon, and it's been a pleasure having you there. And like I always say, I'd love to get you back going again. In fact, we might have to talk about a guide coming up. I got something that could be done. I don't know if we will. It's one of those games that's like, I don't know if I want to spend like have my life putting together so that I can get 100 views on it because nobody wants to watch or play it. I've had plans in the past for other games too. In fact, I've had Kirsten scout out multiple games. She'll tell you. Well, no, don't tell him. Don't tell him. But she has. She's scouted out multiple games, sort of fit molds and things that might be guide worthy, including the DC Justice League Cosmic Chaos. That was one that she was actually going to write. We actually got the guide, like basic formatting all done and ready to go to fill in. And then we're like, wait a minute, this game, you basically play it and you platinum it. There was a couple of things in the end, but not necessarily worthy of a guide. I'm not regretting it anyways. So hopefully we'll get Doug back to write some guides for us in the future. Next up, we got Michael Karsberg. Thank you so much, Michael, for supporting us on Patreon. I know you have for a long time. Hopefully you didn't forget. Hopefully you're still knowingly supporting us. Regardless, we love having you around, and it's always fun having you pop into the streams. Today, I know it's wonky. It's like super early or late for you, but you'll probably see this in the morning and drop me a comment like you often do. And last but not least, at the $10 and up, we got Bonnie Miller. Thank you so much for your support, Bonnie. Much love. Hope you are doing well. And be good to see you pop up as well. All right. I assume we got a couple people showing up. What's up, Jaron? Welcome to the stream. Now, that's not... okay. All right. Just making sure. I was going to say, that's not my buddy's boy, Jaron, right? Right? Isn't that Patrick's, Jaron? That'd be pretty cool if it was. Teflon with another $2 super chat. PGA 2023. Play it. Do it now. Play golf. It's fun. Do it. Teflon, did you know that that I've been around golf my whole life? I don't know if I've ever shared this with you. As a young kid, I was not to get graphic or anything, but I exist because my dad won a local tournament qualifier that sent him to Arizona for 10 days for a tournament. And my mom, who was just a girlfriend at the time, went with. And, they came back with some morning sickness and all of that. So, basically, I owe golf my life. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I was 13 My parents got married, and at 5 years old they split. And my mom pursued her modeling career, which is why they split. And so she had to go fly around and do all this stuff and be all fancy. Meanwhile, Tom, my dad, stayed back to take care of me, and he was a beer truck delivery guy. So he'd bring like kegs to restaurants and cans to stores. And, this is back in the early 80s, right? Like 82, 83. And it wasn't, like I said, until I was 13 that, my dad was kicking some major butt in local golf tournaments, winning long drive competitions and like just making a name for himself. He finally tried out to be a PGA Tour professional, and he made it. And then he realized, wait a minute, all this travel isn't paid for, and the tour is all on me. And so you have to have a fair amount of money to actually start going to a lot of those. And realistically, if you win one or two, you're pretty much covered for the year. But, winning isn't always easy. And so instead of following the tour, my dad became a local pro and started doing well for himself, got offered a head professional position at a couple of different courses. So we bounced around from course to course. And as a result, I got free golf and I got free golf lessons. And my grandfather was the golf coach at the high school that I ended up going to and graduating, well, finishing at. And so golf's been all around forever and ever and ever. And ultimately, I don't play it anymore. Like, I'm not a person that like hits a golf limit because I enjoy playing golf. But unfortunately, I was in a car accident quite a few years ago that messed up my back. And I just don't have the back capacity to really play golf like I used to. I've got nice clubs, got a nice bag, tried to get Reese into it. He's played a few times and he doesn't hate it, but he's, my dad used to call it the golf bug. Like I would just be like obsessed with it. Where I just, all summer, I lived at a golf course. So I hit golf balls all day, worked at a golf course as soon as I could. And, so golf was life for a long time. My dad still runs. He's the general manager and the head professional of a golf course up in Hillsboro. Reese works at the golf course. I am actually their marketer. I do all of their online presence. I built their website. I do all their marketing pieces that I send out like every month to all their email clients. And that's who I'm meeting with on Thursday. So I got multiple meetings on Thursday. I got a car appointment early in the morning. I have a big meeting with them. And then I actually race home to have a meeting with my friend who has a small business here in town, which I mentioned earlier. Like, came to me, or I brought a logo to him a long time ago, and then they're like, and then like 2 months later, he gives me a T-shirt, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Who did these? Looking at, like, literally, like the logo was like 99% what I had done, and it is what it is. I'm not mad at them, but you can tell it. I haven't forgotten either. So, anyways, nothing but love there. Hopefully, I'll get to do something awesome for him, and it'll be good. It'll be good for me, good for the family, and something different, right? Because I've been sort of stuck in this routine, which I actually really enjoy. I can't stress it enough. Like, minus Starfield, my game lineup right now has been amazing. No, I'm just kidding. Starfield's been pretty tolerable, but I just like poking and prodding. RUOCA. What I don't know what that is. OCA? Is that like OCD? Or is that something completely different? Are we posting photos on the Discord? Is that what's happening? Oh no. Oh, Tyler showed up on the Discord just to drop a stupid sports ball gif. Get out of here, Tyler, you bother me. All right, guys. Well, I've officially hit the end of my list. Let's see here. It's merch limited edition. Might convince my parents to get me some for my birthday. It is not. At this time, we don't have anything that we plan on polling or anything. If there are suggestions or requests of something specific, and I've said this before, it's like Kiwi. Like, if you wanted Kiwi like on the back of your shirt, like I could ultimately make that happen, right? Like, so if you wanted like this shirt, but you want Kiwi on the back, like that's not something I can do for everybody all the time, but I mean, if we get a couple of them here and there, I could probably make that happen. Because ultimately, what I have to do is take the design and then add the text and then create a new product of the same thing and then unlist it so it's not available for everybody. Because I don't think anybody would want a Kiwi shirt besides Kiwi, anyways. But you guys get what I'm saying. So it's possible. So yeah, and you got it, Brian. Much love. See, Brian P says, Brian, with Halloween next month, you and your wife, haunted house. You know, I used to love haunted houses. That's a great question, by the way. I used to love haunted houses. In fact, there's one in Hillsborough where my dad works, so the golf course is, which is actually one of the towns I grew up in. I grew up in Hillsborough. I spent a couple years in Hillsborough, and then we moved to Beaverton, and I spent the majority of my life in Beaverton until I moved to Staten. But Hillsborough was a nice pit stop for me, and we spent quite a bit of time there. And every Halloween, we would go back for so they had this giant, like, warehouse. I don't know what it was used for the rest of the year. I almost think it was like maybe part of like the farm exhibit at maybe like the county fairgrounds or something. I'm not exactly sure. I just remember going there every year and it being awesome. I get to go with my friends and usually my neighbor Jason and my other friend Scott. And we'd go and it was super fun. Like they were cool. Now, like some of the stuff they have now, I don't know. I feel like it's different. So I haven't gone in a long time. In fact, this year I would be up for going. So that's something we might try and do. And I'm pretty sure that the one in Hillsborough still exists. I'm 99% sure. I'll have to talk to my dad and see. But yeah. So ultimately, I used to love them. Have not been in a long time. Reese is not somebody that is easily shook or scared, but that's something that we just never really exposed him to. So I don't know if we'll be able to. I think it'd be fun, but like some of them, like I see all those blooper reels where like a guy comes out with like a chainsaw and the guy just pops him because he's scared and he just overreacts. That might be my wife. Like, if I'm being honest, she might end up getting us into a lawsuit of sorts, but probably worth it if we get the video footage to go with it. Let's see here. Also, I bet the weather time of year in the area is beautiful with the fall. Yes, absolutely. We did touch that a little bit earlier. You might have missed that, or maybe it came in right at the end. It's one of the most glorious things about Oregon. I mean, every state has goods and bad things, right? Like good and bad things. You got, politics vary from state to state. Religious stuff varies from state to state. Rules vary from state to state. And I mean, Oregon is no promised land or anything like that. But as far as seasons go, I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot better. I hear Ohio is pretty similar. Like Toot and I have talked a lot about weather there and stuff. It sounds like it rains a little bit more there than it does here, which is crazy because it seems like it rains here all the time. And the winters are a little bit harsher out there too. So I still feel like there are places that are close, but like we get like sample size of everything without going too extreme. Or we do hit those extremes, but they're not for very long, right? Like if you guys remember a couple winters ago, we had that power outage that we lost power for. It was like a frozen ice storm, and like we lost power for like 4-5 days. Something like that. And we were lucky. We were one of the early ones that got it back. Some people were out like 10, 12 days. So, I mean, we've had stuff like that happen. But, I mean, ultimately, like in my lifetime, I think there's been 2 tornadoes in Oregon. And in my lifetime, I think there's been 2 earthquakes in Oregon, right? Like other places have had all sorts of stuff happen. Like Teflon's had like 25 storms this year, right? Like where I haven't even had 25 storms like that in my whole life here. Just different, right? So, but also you can only wear shorts a few days of the year comfortably. And I was actually wearing shorts today and it was pretty chilly out there. So, yeah. But guys, that's it. Let's see here. Brian, please may I see a photo of your dog? Oh, hey, you know what? Hey, Drex. Come here. Come here. Yeah. Hey, wait, where are you going? He's got a fresh bone. So it's actually a bully stick. If you know what a bully stick is, he loves him a fresh bully. Yeah, that was good timing, huh? I mean, yeah, Dragon's got it there too. That's Drex. That's actually my dog. That photo right there is my dog. Um, and that photo right there is my cat, Cutie. So Drexler and Cutie Pie. Those are the two animals right now. We had a purple tie crab for a couple of years. It was like literally a crab that Reese had in his bedroom. We've had many sharks. We've had multiple cats, multiple dogs too. Really, Reese has had good exposure to all that stuff. You know, he never had any like vermin, like no gerbils or stuff like that, which he did want for a while. But with Stevie, Cutie, Emmett, and then having a dog too, like that just didn't seem like a good idea. We also had Daphne, Doja, and Drexler for the dogs. So we've definitely had plenty of animals. Like a purple tie crab though, Alan crab was my favorite. We called him Alan because at the time there was a Portland Trailblazer player. His name was Alan Crab. He then got moved to Brooklyn and played for Brooklyn for 4 or 5 years. And I don't even know if he's in the league anymore. But yeah, Alan. We've got photos of him. I'll never forget the day. So I learned the hard way about molting shells. They like basically drop their shell and leave behind. Well, what I didn't realize was the shell was going to literally look like another crab. And I freaked out because I thought all of a sudden we had two crabs. Because I'm like, whoa, there's Alan. Why isn't he moving? This new crab like showed up in the middle of the night and killed our old crab. Because Alan's shell looked different once he molted it, right? So thought that was pretty funny. And in fact, hey, sweetie, are you down there? Are you within earshot? I was hoping maybe she was down there in the kitchen or the bathroom. We still have the shells from Alan. I was going to have her go grab them real quick. All right, she's not hearing me. I'll take some pictures at some point and I'll post them with you guys. But will I dress up Drex or Cutie? Drex hates wearing stuff. When you get a puppy and you dress them up and they're like young and they're used to it as they grow up, totally works. When you get a rescue dog who's had trauma and was raised in a horse barn for the first 6 months of his life, he don't want to wear none of that. We have a bow tie, a Trailblazer bow tie that's red and black that looks hilariously awesome. Oh, snap, Teflon with a $2 super chat from Drex. And he'll wear that, but that's about as far. He'll like, right. Even with his collar, like we take his collar off at night because he shakes a lot and it makes a lot of noise. So we take it off at night. But he'll try to bite at it like crazy, trying to go for it. So people have been asking me too, like, Brian, last year you dressed up as Prof. Funny enough, I've got my Prof hoodie on, which I actually lost. I hadn't seen this thing in like 4 months and I found it today and I was like, yes. Am I going to dress up as Prof again? No, I don't think so. And people are asking why. Well, to be honest with you, I sort of have that look all the time now, except for I don't do the mustache the same, right? Like he goes mustache and a little bit of fuzz here and a little bit of fuzz here. Where I've just got like fuzz everywhere now. And I'm due for a haircut. Wifey really likes it short. Like, I don't know what's wrong with her, but I think it's just the fact that I've known her for 20 something years and I've had the same stupid haircut the entire time we've been together. She gets her hair done all the time. Like she's actually just made an appointment today. She's going to get some coloring done and some different stuff and a little bit of trimmage. And like, meanwhile, Brian's got the same stupid haircut he's had for 20 years. So I think just any change, right, is just like, yes. Let's see here. Securing that leaderboard spot. Yes, he is. Anybody got a flex they want to drop to bump Teflon down? Take him off his high horse? Oh, I see Kiwi's getting a new kitten in October. Awesome. Tomorrow is October. Hopefully you're getting a kitten tomorrow. Can we get an inflatable Thumby for the merch? So, I guess I don't have a good one right here. I used to have one right by me. I don't have one. I've got a crappy one I can show you. We don't have, and I should talk to Sam about getting more of these. I had a bunch of these for a while. So this one is old. This one actually is sunburnt from being in the window all the time. It actually, we have a fan in the window that draws out. So like always is pulling air out from here because it's so stupid hot up above the heater and everything. Plus heat rises. It's just always a million. We cook anything in the kitchen, it turns into 1,000,000 degrees up here. All my computers, PlayStation, 1,000,000 degrees. So we have a fan up here and we have like a cover over it. And I put Thumby in between the cover so like the fan can still breathe, so the cover doesn't slurp up next to the thing. Oh, and great with the flex. What is up? October 20 something, which also gives me a chance to meet my friend who lives near my aunt who's giving us the kid. Hey, that's really cool. So double whammy. Get to meet up with somebody that's cool and getting a new cat too. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm hoping everything works out tomorrow. And Justin and Mike and Nam will all get to meet up with Jillian, Reese, and Susan and Karen, because that'd be a pretty cool little meeting. And so yeah, I got to figure out all that tonight too. I know I said it a lot in the past, but if you do Lego, happy thumbs, Lego minifigure for definitely buy one. We've talked about doing something like that. Like back in the day, I had an artist draw me as a Lego minifig, and it was just basic. It wasn't really even me, other than I had a black hat that had a Thumby on it and a shirt on it that had a Thumby on it. Used it in a lot of the videos. You guys saw some of like the popping up and stuff and like here and there. Just kind of funny, goofy, whatever. Never really found a way to market or get a cool minifig, right? Like, I don't know how to print. A lot of these people do print and stuff. Like, I don't have a 3D printer or none of that. So, I'll have to figure something out, but that would be cool. Oh, Poop Shady was gifted a membership. Nice choice there, Teflon. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, guys. Hey, dinner is probably ready. It smells delicious. I don't even know what we're having, but it's 6:20 here now. So we've been at it for an hour and 21. Hopefully the ads weren't too aggressive. Again, this is all experimental. I don't have full control. Like I'm told that it's going to be better for everybody to let them control it versus like setting things, but I don't know how it'll really work out. And we'll, based on your feedback and stuff moving forward, we'll figure it out. Oh no, Teflon with another $2 super chat and another gifted membership. Emery, you got a membership. Woo to the hoo-hoo. All right. That was better. You could actually end on that one and be okay, right? Teflon, like, knowing you gifted Poop Shady, I don't know. It's like in a bad game of Apex. I can't end on a bad game of Apex. I got to play and finish up at least decent effort. It can't be crappy or Poop Shady. Sorry, Poop Shady. Pick a better name. All right. See, I'm not flexing my stuff. Jealous want to kick me on. No, thank you, Teflon. Oh, what? Why so angry? Why so angry? One, kick me off. Who's jealous? I feel like you're the only one talking about jealousy, Chacho. I feel like you're the only one talking about jealousy. All right. Well, hey, before this gets to the next level of awkwardness, I'm gonna go ahead and shut him down. 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 Anybody know? That's actually a song. Does anybody know who that is? I'd be really surprised if anybody knew that. I'm guaranteeing nobody knows that. It's old. It's like early 90s. Early 90s. All right, guys. Hey, much love to you all. Thank you so much for hanging out on the September Game Break. I had a blast just chatting. I'll be back, not tomorrow, but on Monday with the Motorfest Mondays. We're going to get back into some race carriage. And yes, I'm going to keep playing on easy, and I'm going to look like a race god because I don't have that in real life. In fact, right now, Nam's faster than me, and I'm not cool with that. So anyways, much love to you all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, rest of your weekend, and I'll see you soon. And don't forget, if you haven't already, please check us out at happythumbsgaming.com. We got all sorts of trophy achievement guides and more there. We'd love to see you cruise around and maybe find some information that you didn't know prior to joining there. Anyways, that's going to do it for me, guys. I'll see you soon. As always, until next time.